Are we having fun yet? Yes, we are. Welcome to the Kingdom. I'm Andy, and welcome to another episode in my beginner series in Satisfactory, this time on trains. So in this episode, I'm going to teach you how to use them, what to watch out for, and a few tips and tricks. So let's get out there. Future Andy here. I just noticed that half of you guys aren't subscribed, and I just so happen to be trying to get 500 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you want to give me a chance to help entertain you or educate you, hit that subscribe button. If not, thank you guys for listening to me, and let's get back to the show. Okay, here I am at my platform that I've set up with handy dandy helpers and everything, so it's visually appealing for you guys. But this is all you need. Now, there's a few things you need to know about things that will help you figure stuff out. For one, the train station itself. Oh, I put it on wrong. If you put the center point, which is the track, in the center, it's 5 wide and a little bit more than 3 long. You could kind of fit it on 2 platforms, but I usually give room for 3 just for a little bit of on-off ability, because I don't usually put it like in the corners. I want to be able to put it in the middle so that you're able to move off of it with a track. Number 2, when figuring out your train, each train, and I'm going to, let's put a track down just so that I can educate you here on this. When you have a train, the max amount of cars it can pull and have absolutely no issues whatsoever going uphill, downhill, or whatever is 2. 2 of these per one of these. So if I wanted to pull, let's say, I wanted to pull, oh, I don't have enough track. Okay, give me a second. If I wanted to pull 4 of these, I would have to put 2 engines in the front. And that way you would have no problem. So basic, for every 2 of these, you need 1 engine. And that will sit there. But here's another thing you need to know. Per engine, power-wise, this is very important. You need to figure out that per engine, you need to adjust for up to 100 megawatts per engine. Now, you don't actually get near that unless you're going up a steep hill. But if you plan ahead for it, then it's easier to do. Now, another thing you need to plan for is, let's say you have the simple one. We're going to do 3, and you can do the math accordingly for bigger and brighter projects. You have 3. So for a train station, which I'm going to start a train station over here, because we're going to start a project that the simplest version of this first, and then we'll go a little bit more complex. So you have 1 train station, and then we're going to do freight. So 1, 2. That right there is a simple train station, and we could have it go around in a circle and do this. Each one of these buildings is 50 megawatts. So this right here is 300, but you're moving it from point A to point B. So each car, in order to be useful and have an input and an output, requires 100 megawatts per car. So that's 100, 100, 100, and 100 to use it. So this simple train station is 400 megawatts of power that you're going to have to figure out, you're going to make sure you have before you do it. Now, if you have multiple train stations, you're picking up iron from, let's say, 2 locations. Well, you add another 150 to that. Now, this right here is the one that people normally do, where you have it go around in a circle. I'm going to get rid of this. Go around in a circle and be able to keep going around, and it never stops, it never sits there. But if you have a simple station where you want to go from point A to point B, there is a solution to that. You put in one of these, and then on this side, now remember I had this right here, I had this pointing out. It's pointing this direction. You do the opposite with this one. So this one wants to point in the same direction. We don't want that. We want it pointing in the opposite direction. And of course, we're going to have two cars. And then we want an empty one. And then we're going to connect the two. Now this is the simplest of train stations. This is as simple as you can get. Actually, the most simplest is just the train itself. But most of you want to move things from point A to point B. So without having more stuff, this is very simple. The most bang for the buck, I should say. Now, another thing we do is we need to put the train on here. So put the train, it's 2 tracks, and then we're going to put another train. But because we wanted to go from point A to point B and back to point A, we need to put another train on the other side. Now, I am unsure if I would calculate that you need a little bit more than that 100 now, because I think the back one helps the front one. I'm not 100% sure. But I know that you can put the train going the opposite direction, and last time I tested it going up a steep incline, it didn't hurt. So I know of that. But here we go. Let's go over here, and we're going to have to go from point A to point B. So timetable, we have 2, and we have Hamburg in, I cannot say that correctly, so I'm not going to even try. So it should start going, and it's going to go there first. Slow down, stop. And let's say this is where you load. You load it up. And because the other one is on the same track, counts as it, it can now go this way to do this one. And that's how you get the simplest of trains. So you can only have one track. You don't have to worry about it spinning around. You don't have to worry about all that. But that is, I'm going to say 150 for the train power, plus an extra 300. So 450, and if you have that much power, you're golden. Now this one is not worried about stuff, but here's another thing that some people don't know. I'm going to, let's say I have my power coming from over here, and this is my power station. And I need power in my new station over here, but I made the train come over here first. You, through the train line, can now power whatever it is on the other end. Some people, lots of people don't know this, but it's very, very easily done. And holy smokes, it makes running power without having to do these things every few feet very, very, very easily done. Now, some people, you want to know how we're going to easily do this the old-fashioned way. Well, let's teach you how to do a curve. This is a tip and trick. I have a whole bunch of these on my channel. You can check them out if you want. You don't have to. But this is the easy way to do a turn. So you make a straight. It's order of operation for when it comes to train. A lot of the train planning ahead is order of operation. So I want it to end here straight. So I have to put that in there first in order to be able to do it. Otherwise, you come over here and you can maybe get it over here, but you won't know 100% where it is unless you tell it, I want it to be here. Now let's get this train up, and I'm going to just be a little bit more cautious. Now, here's another thing that you need to know. I didn't actually say it over there. I'm going to say it over here. This particular midpoint, for the tightest turn for a perfect circle, or half circle, for that matter, it can do, it can do a lot. You can do a full circle if you want to. It just won't go anywhere because you have to have at least one station. You need at least two stations for that matter. It is the rule of 4. So you start off where you're starting and you count 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you take a curve 1, 2, 3, 4. And there is your center point. Again, if they were here, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And because of that, when you do this, it becomes a perfect circle. And you know, when you do place the track, I always keep them in the center. That way it's just easier to see. There we go. So there we sit there. Now let's look at see what would happen this way. Very simply done. We'll tell the locomotive to completely stop. It will actually come to here and stop because that was the last instruction it gave it. And I'm going to modify this one back here. So I'm going to get rid of this and this. I'm going to now have the train stations facing the same way on the track. I will put this in here just because it makes it simple. I don't actually have to extend it normally, but you don't have to have that because I don't have the back engine anymore. And I can now tell it to once again go between 1 and the second. And it will go. You gonna go? I know you're gonna go. Oh, have to turn it back on. Oops, my bad. Okay, so now it will do it the old-fashioned way where it goes to station, it never ever goes back on the same stuff, and you're able to have multiple trains. But here's a big thing for when it comes to this type of stuff. Do not worry about multiple trains. If you want to put like 30 trains on a track, that's fine. They'll go through each other. Actually, to tell you the truth here, let me show you a really complex train station. I have that on my vanilla series, and we will show you how it looks, and I'll give you a few more tips and tricks, and then we'll end it up. Okay, so here is some of the stuff you can do when trying to, you know, get a train to do everything. I have trains moving every single item around from all my things. So I do have the 2 parts. It's being held by 3, and then it goes into, this is a train station. I believe this one builds motors, modular engines, things like that. It imports all the parts, builds it, and then it exports it. This is right here is a big train depot for my copper, my iron. It also does concrete. I have U-turns so that it's able to turn around if it needs to, because I do have lanes. You can do things like clover leaves. I did a clover leaf just to see if I could do a clover leaf. Here, let me get rid of my things so you can see things. I did a clover leaf just to see if I could do it. But it's possible. And I've seen a couple people do this. It is, theirs are, have a little bit different clover leaves, and I love every single one of them. I have this one that's over to my aluminum, and then delivers it over to my station. That goes over to my PC, which I'm currently redoing. This one, you know, does different parts, picking things up, moving things. I have the way to go up. I decided to make this because I thought it looked cool. And then I have a gigantic thing where every single piece throughout the entire map is brought here. And I'm going to open this up so I can get in. I'm flying a little faster than normal, so. And it comes in here to a sorting station. Each one is set through and goes to their oh my goodness, goes to their specific parts so that I can pick it up and go. and all done with trains. I have even this one. This one is the water one. It picks up water and moves it over to help my aluminum plant, which needed a little bit more water. So I'm shipping it with trains, and you can see that they overlap each other. Flying now makes me swim, which is awesome. But the trains overlap each other, and they don't do it a lot, but they do it a little bit. You can do so much with trains, and I'd love to see what you've done with trains. Go ahead and show me pictures on comments down below. I would love to see what you can do. And as long as everything is connected, if it doesn't work, let's say on here, it wouldn't go into this train station right here. That means right here where it connects, it's not fully connected. You can tell what's connected if it has this moving part set up. If it's not there, it's not going to do that. But there you go. I hope you enjoy. If you like what you saw, hit that like button. If you love what you saw, hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. And until next time, sayonara and ciao.